And good morning or hello, whatever time you're watching this. Just want you to check in and just feel yourself in your spot. Just notice yourself here and now. And as always, welcoming yourself means that you're just pausing. You're feeling the senses, you're feeling the skin, you're smelling the air, you're sensing the taste in your mouth. You're listening to the kids or the dog or the train or whatever's happening where you are, and you're really just coming into the moment. Remember, the easiest way to come into the moment is to really let those antennas, those senses turn on. And just welcome. Welcome, welcome. We're just practicing nothing right now. We're just practicing stilling, quieting. Just feeling this moment that you're in. As always, making time for ourselves is often the most challenging part of self-care, is just making that time. And then to swim a little deeper, we can't make time, right? We only get so much time. So the idea of that making time is actually saving the time or carving out the time or using the time. And you're here, you're doing it. The hardest part is just showing up, and here you are. So please take a couple rounds of breath and just really, truly in those senses, in those antennas, just find yourself here, settling in on this time that you've carved out. And welcome yourself. Welcome yourself right now. Feeling yourself connecting to whatever spot your body has chosen to put itself in. Maybe you're sitting up, maybe you're lying down. Just feeling how the body feels today, in this moment right now. How's the neck? How are your shoulders? How did you sleep? How's the day been playing out so far? How's your back and hips? How's your gut, your belly, knees, ankles? How are you today? And see if you can get really clear about it. So instead of saying, I'm good or not so bad, or something where it's more judgmental, just see if you can really find, how am I? How am I today? What's going on in my mind chatter? What's going on in my emotional heart? What am I presenting with right now? Almost as if you're looking into a mirror, body, mind, and spirit. What's up with you right now? What are you coming to this self-care practice with this morning or this afternoon? Just being really curious. Start to create a rhythm in your breathing. See if that lights you up at all. Finding that Samavriti pattern where you're Inhale is exhale is equal to the exhale. Your inhale is equal to the exhale. Nice and calm and steady breathing pattern. See if you can use those breaths like flashlights, shining any tension or shining on any tightness or stiffness or soreness. Using that breath to really open up that inhale all the way through the back muscles, seeing anything that's stiff or tight. And then on the exhale, see if you can drop a little bit. Drop a little bit more into that breath. So today's class is gentle yoga, and it will be gentle. But remember, gentle yoga is not necessarily just the idea that you are doing poses that might be a little bit easier, not always. But gentle yoga is really about approaching yourself with gentleness. And so today I thought we could play with the idea of being truly curious about these finer details. And we'll start just that breath, like just using those inhales and those exhales to shine the light on those little details inside. Again, we're not judging it. It's no good or bad, better or worse. What is it? What are you presenting with right now? Really curious. And now I would like you to start to ponder, what do you want to feel when the class is over? When you're finished with this session, how do you want to feel? Connected, joyful, open, spacious, calm, loving, energized, playful. What you need. So we'll be quiet here for 1 minute, and you're going to come into settling on your intention. What is it? What is it that you need? Closing your eyes if you haven't already, and ask yourself, when this is over, when I've finished my self-care practice, how do I want to feel? And let's settle in on that mantra, that 1 or 2 word phrase. Take about 8 breaths right now. And start to boil it down into that 1 or 2 word phrase. Something you can repeat to yourself if you find yourself getting distracted. When you're ready, bring your hands to prayer or to your heart, either way. Gently bow your chin to your chest. Open your eyes, see your fingertips, see your hands. Remember the promise that you're making, and then gently release. And so welcome. So today is slow moving. We're going to be moving slowly, but we're going to be really curious about these little finer details. So again, you need 2 blocks and a pillow. I have 3 blocks, but you can choose to have a pillow and 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, use a pillow under the knees. And then we're going to use a blanket. If you don't have a blanket nearby, I do recommend you run and go get one. I'll try to stall. And we're going to take our blanket. So this is what's known as a Tadasana fold, a mountain fold. So this is a typical shape of the blanket when we start. We're going to accordion it. So you're going to lengthwise, you're going to accordion it like a fan. And you're going to put this long blanket along your mat so that your spine can be resting on it. Okay? And you're going to put the pillow underneath where your head will go. And the blocks you're not going to need right now. So find that position for yourself, the accordion with a pillow underneath your head. Hi, welcome. Okay, so here we are. We're going to find ourselves sitting on the blanket, and then we're going to lie down with our head on the block. So we're going to be playing here for quite a long time. So you want it to be comfortable and you want it to be a little bit challenging. So it's almost challenging to hold yourself up there. So you're going to be using your core here. For those that are just coming in, today we're really going to be curious about these little details. So again, we've got this thin accordion folded blanket running the length of our spine underneath the crown of our, base of our head all the way through the tailbone. We have a little pillow underneath our head. And it's thin enough that it's challenging for us to stay on top. So if I don't think about it, I could probably fall right off. Okay, we'll take our hands down to the sides and let's come into some calm, steady breaths. Just saying hello to your beautiful body. This beautiful body. So as I was saying a few minutes ago, as you're here and you're just reclining and you're just breathing, gentle yoga is not just maybe more gentle postures, but it's the way you approach yourself. And we're always gentle, even in those vinyasa classes, but this is sort of the practice of it. I know a lot of people who, and I used to be one of them too, where the exercise and the dynamic movements and that like really getting it out was the way I thought the practice should always go. But this part of the yoga practice is instrumental to knowing how to approach that other more dynamic practice with some kindness, some loving kindness. And we can use these gentle classes to learn the little tiny details that will come into those Wednesday and Friday classes. Okay, so here we are, we're breathing. Now challenge yourself. You're going to have to use core to bring the right knee in. So you've brought the right knee into your chest. And you're going to do your best to wrap around the ankle. Not everybody will be able to reach down there. You can hold around the knee, but ideally we're bringing it as close to our ankle as we can. And we're feeling the right heel pressing against our bottom. It's not literally doing it, but energetically we're bringing that heel in towards the sits bone. You can probably feel that core turning on. The breathing pattern is sweet and soft and calm. You've got that equal inhale, equal exhale. And as we're here, as we're using the core to hold onto this blanket, we're bringing that right heel towards the sits bone. Imagine that your right knee now is moving towards your head. There's two things, two dynamic movements. Heel to sits bone, to the bone you sit on, and then that right knee is trying to move to your head. Another way to say it is we're trying to lengthen our shin bone. Imagining that shin bone really lengthening, the bottom of the knee moving to the head and the heel moving to the sits bone. 5 more deep breaths. Come on, this is a good time right now. This is so fun. So detailed and so little bit of movement, but really powerful. Takes a lot of work to think about that. One more deep breath. Very nice. Hug the belly, lock in, and we're going to take that right leg to the sky, the heel to the sky. Interlace your fingers behind the thigh now, and point and flex and point and flex, point. So you're melting the back muscles, true, but you're also having to keep that belly lock really anchored, or else you're going to fall off this log, right? One more deep breath. Good. Strong, powerful leg. Bend that right knee and replace the foot to the floor. And we're going to switch sides. Hug the belly in and bring the left knee into the chest. Again, trying to interlace our fingers around the ankle if you can reach. If not, no worries. Come back up closer to the knee. Or maybe some of you might even be going around the thigh. Energetically, we're trying to press the left heel now towards the sits bone. So you're really trying to press in there. At the same time as you're pressing that heel in there, you're trying to drag your knee, your left kneecap, towards the forehead. There's gentleness in the approach. There's gentleness in the breath. There's gentleness in the neck and shoulder muscles. But you're fired up at the base. You're fired up through this leg. Bringing dynamically that left heel towards the sits bone as you're lengthening that shin bone, dragging the left kneecap to the forehead. Very dynamic, but in a gentle way. Three more deep breaths. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to slide the hands behind the thigh, extend the left heel to the sky, feeling that openness, and point and flex and point, still turning that belly on, and flex and point. Good morning, ankles. Hello. 3 and 2 and 1. Very nice. And return. We can just windshield wipe our legs side to side just a tiny bit, not enough that you fall off. Very, very dynamic. And then pause for a moment and take 5 deep breaths. Just allow yourself to just melt over the blanket. Just feel yourself really spilling out. Okay, a little bit more challenging now. We're going to go back to the first leg. Bring that right knee in. This time we're going to take our right hand on the kneecap and we're going to open that knee just a tiny bit and really turn on the belly lock. So we're opening up just a tiny bit towards the right and then bring the knee back towards the center. So again, kneecap is towards the chest. Our right hand is on the knee. We're going to open the hip just a little bit to the right and then close it. You can feel yourself having to work pretty hard to stay on that blanket. Looks so easy from the outside, but there's a lot of engagement happening. One more time, open it up. And now we're going into half happy baby, grabbing whatever you can reach. Maybe the heel, maybe the back of the thigh, and really fire up that belly. Maybe some of you will extend the left leg out straight. Are you falling? Hold on, hold that belly in. Feel that zipper up from the pubic bone to the navel. Nice and powerful. 3 more breaths. 2. Very, very good. Come on back to center and relax, bringing both feet to the floor, making your adjustments. Woo-wee, right? All right, second side. Left knee comes to the chest, left hand on the kneecap. I'm taking my right arm out to the side so I can really anchor myself down there. Decide how that feels best for you. And then slightly open that left hip to the left. Now coming into a little bit of an open hip position. Open it up just a tiny bit and close it. You're really using that belly lock. Open and close. Open. You can feel yourself almost falling off. And then when you're ready, taking that half happy baby here. And again, maybe you'll extend the right knee straight. And we'll take 8 deep breaths in this hip opener. So your left leg is in a half happy baby. Your right leg is in Tadasana. You got a nice, powerful right leg. You could take your right arm up and over the head by the ear. Really engaging core. Gentle. As we're working gentle. Opening the breath into the shoulders, opening the breath into the hips, really opening yourself with those breaths. 2 more deep breaths. That's it. Sliding your right leg to bend again, closing up that hip, bringing your knees to the floor. And again, little windshield wipers, not enough that you're falling out, but just to sort of wash it away a little bit. And I'm really encouraging you always, but especially today, what is happening in your spine as we're doing these little movements? What is happening to your spine? It's your highway. What do you got going on that highway? Can you feel the connection of your abdominal muscles and everything working to hold that spine on this blanket as you're working? Okay, here comes our big wimma. Okay, here it comes. Hug your belly lock in. Both legs come in. And we're now in happy baby. Can you bring your arms up and hold on? Sometimes no, you got to keep those elbows down so that you can stay balanced on that blanket. Some of you can come into full happy baby and work it here. We're going to stay for 12 breaths. My challenge for you, if you choose to accept it, because it may not be right for you, is to see if you can stay perfectly still in this happy baby pose and just turn on that inner gaze, that inner awareness. So here we go, 12 breaths. Arms are reaching for the feet, elbows are extended if that works for you, or your elbows are staying on the ground, helping you steer the balance. Here we go, 12 breaths. Happy baby in the face, relaxed shoulders. Breathing full bodied, breathing into the belly, breathing into the back, the ribs. Letting those hips slide to open, feeling any battle of yourself not letting go, and see if you can encourage yourself to surrender here. Let it go. At the same time as you're gentle and letting it go, your belly lock is on, you're engaged. You're keeping with your integrity at the same time as you're surrendering. Four more deep breaths. You could straighten the knees, coming more into Upavista Konasana if you feel like you want that little challenge here. Spread those knees open. You got 3 more deep breaths. One more. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly bring your knees in, 1 foot at a time to the floor. And we'll take 8 breaths here and just pause. Completely relax and receive the work. Take your time. How you doing? Okay, last thing on this log here. This is a big challenge, big old challenge. Slide your hands underneath your head, interlace your fingers. Elbows are wide. Keep spreading the elbows wide, but pulling those hands together. Spreading the elbows wide, but pulling those hands together. We're going to go for abdominal strengthener right now, okay? Just to bring awareness to our belly. You can go for a bicycle ride where the heels are coming straight out, or if that's a little bit challenging, you can pedal towards the sky, okay? We're going to do 50. It's a long one. Okay, long bike ride. Here we go. Right knee to chest, left leg extends out, head and shoulders up. You got to use a strong core or at least have a sense of humor if you fall. Okay, here we go. And 49, 48, 47. Breathing is calm. Oh, can't look at the camera or you fall. Nice and easy. Feel how heavy your head is. Nice and easy. Strong core, zipping up from the pubic bone to the navel in 20, 19, 18. Don't give up. We're going to have a nice, big, long relaxation at the end, but we're firing it up right now at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Slowly now come off your blanket, rolling to the side. Pause for a moment, resting your head on your arm so that your neck is not in a crooked position. Just nice and calm. And then when you're ready, push yourself up here. And we're going to take our little accordion blanket and we're going to change it now to the sides here. Okay, so now it's going across the mat and we're going to add it to right behind our shoulder blades. Let's have our block. If you need a pillow for your head, you could have that there. I'm not going to use one, but I know some of you might not need that pillow. And we're going to take ourselves, we're going to have our blocks to the sides now. I'm not going to use them now, but that way we don't have to get back up. So have them close by and take your shoulder blade on the blanket here, right across the shoulder blades, and then the arms open nice and wide. Again, if you feel like having a pillow is the best thing for you, then make that happen. Take your feet and knees equal distance apart, so about hip distance apart, and just feel this action. Okay, we're going to hold here. It's a little bit of a back bend. If it feels too intense in the upper body, then of course you back down. But we'll take about 5 deep breaths here, just deep, deep breaths. So again, focusing on the spine here. How does the spine like this with your chest lifting up into this little bit of a back bend? Come back to that Samavriti pattern where the inhale and exhale are equal. All right, here we go. We're going to extend the left arm up to the sky. We're going to reach the left arm over towards the right arm, feeling how the shoulder blade moves away from the spine. And then tickling across the chest, we're going to return the arm to the floor 7 more times. Reaching the left arm up, lift it, fingertips reaching to the sky, reach over, touching that right arm, feeling that space you're creating between the shoulder blade and the spine, and crossing over, returning it back to that big T position. On your own now, 6 more times. Feeling what happens to the spine as you do this. Be really curious. Making any adjustments you need to, pausing whenever you want. Why are we doing this? What does this do for your skeletal system? 3 more. Stay here, just so aware of every little movement. There's nothing floppy, there's nothing rushed. Completely engaged in awareness of every little detail. This next time that your arm goes back to the floor, just rest for a moment. See if you can feel any difference on the sides. And we're going to switch. Right arm up, reaching to the left arm. How does that feel in the spine? Do you feel a rotation there through the spine? Crossing over and dropping out. 7 more times, please. Reaching the right arm up, touching over to the left arm, feeling that twisting action and taking it down. Our head is on the floor the whole time. We're just gazing at the ceiling here. We're letting the shoulders do the work, the spine do this work. You're probably noticing that you still have that integrity in the core and the belly lock. We've said about that motion is lotion, just letting our spine and the upper back get some fluidity here, especially with as much sitting as we do. Just feeling those little tiny details. 2 or 3 more, pausing where you need to. Good. The next time your arm comes back out to the sides, allow yourself to just flop here. Allow yourself to enjoy it. Beautiful. Both arms reaching up. Both arms reaching up. On the exhale, for the count of 6, we're going to lower the arms behind the head. Here we go. Slowly. 6, 5. If it's too much on your shoulders to take it over the head, feel free to put it back out to the sides. 3, 2, and 1. Arms are on the floor, either in right behind the head, like close to the ears, or more in a Y or T shape. And now we're going to drop the knees to the right, noticing the rotation of the spine, and then to the left, and then to the right. My blocks are in my way, so I'm going to scooch them out a little bit. I don't need them yet. We're just noticing any fluidity through that middle spine as we move the knees side to side. Take your time. We've got about 10 more of these. Simple, so simple, but so incredibly deep. Can you feel anything moving through the spine all the way up to middle body here? Even up to upper body, can you notice anything? Deep, deep, deep breaths. How's your breathing? Two or three more deep breaths. Just moving that chain, right? Moving the chain. And now coming back to your center, making any adjustments that you need to. Arms back out to a T position. We're going to give ourselves a big hug with the right arm closest to our face. Some of you can wrap the wrists again, bringing your palms to touch for Garudasana, eagle arms. If that's not accessible, go ahead and give yourself a big hug. Those of you who want to, notice the right arm on top and see if you can lift the elbows to meet the chin level and move the wrists toward the sky. So here you are, you're feeling this big opening. Tuck the chin slightly. So bringing your attention to the left shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade, and the top of the head. Feel that little triangular action. If you feel pretty strong here, walk the right foot to the middle of your mat, cross the left knee on top like you're sitting in a chair, turn both sets of toes towards the kneecap, and maybe you'll even bring the legs up with the elbows and the knees touching. Maybe some of you will lift your head. One thing I like to do is hold my head with my right hand, but it's up to you. Hug. Notice that the feet aren't floppy. Those toes are really turned on. You've got 2 more big, big breaths. Pretty dynamic in a very gentle way. And gently on the exhale, bringing the head back to the floor, the legs back to the floor, uncross, and then the arms open nice and wide. Just receive that. We're trying to spread out that back, really broadening those upper backs. Let's switch sides now. Give yourself a hug with the left arm on top. Again, maybe you're going to interlace, bringing those elbows in line with the chin, working those wrists toward the ceiling. Why are we doing this? What do you feel in the shoulder blades? Do you feel how they're moving away from the spine? See if you can breathe between the shoulder blades. Walking your left foot to the center of the mat now, crossing the right knee over. Fire up those toes. Maybe you'll bring in those knees. Breathing deeply. Maybe you'll lift the head and shoulders. Maybe you'll use one of your hands to hold that head up, tucking the chin. And just try to smear your back muscles, really wrapping around here, trying to make it as wide as you can. Really broadening those shoulders away from the spine, broadening those ribs away from each other, really long through the spine as you're working. 2 or 3 more deep breaths. One more big breath. And gently return to neutral. Arms out nice and wide, and take a pause. Take a deep breath and just relax. Two more deep breaths. All right, the last thing we're going to do here on our backs, bringing your knees into your chest for happy baby again. Okay, really rocking back and forth if you want to, massaging those shoulders down on that blanket. And this time we're going to close the legs a little wider than hip distance. We're going to imagine that those heels are trying to touch our sits bones again. So we're dropping those heels as close to the sits bones as we can. Some of us will even hold on to those ankles and see if we can really close those knees. Now, as we're hugging those heels, we're in happy baby, but we're hugging the heels towards the floor, towards the sits bones. See if you can spread your kneecaps towards your ceiling. I'm sorry, but towards your forehead, not your ceiling. You're looking at the ceiling. If we were to flip you over, you would be in child's pose, right? So here we are, very, very dynamic. Heels to the sits bones, kneecaps to the face. Take your arms to the middle of your leg so your elbows are on the inner knee, and see if you can, with palms in prayer position, see if you can use your elbows to spread those knees apart, but then squeezing those knees in. We're going to hold this for 8 breaths. 3 dynamic movements. Heels are trying to touch your sits bones. Your knees are trying to touch your head. So we're trying to lengthen those shins. And then you're squeezing the elbows between your knees, but you're also trying to pull your knees apart with the elbows. Hands are in prayer. 5 more breaths. As you're doing this, can you relax through the back? Relax through the breath. Melting through the back. 3. And 2. Beautiful. Very dynamic, wasn't it? And then come on down. We're going to very carefully lift up our hips, slide our blanket out of our way now, out of our way, and come all the way to the floor. Maybe you keep the pillow, maybe not. You've got these blocks here, and we're going to take the blocks to the very top of the leg and open into Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet are together. The knees are open wide. Maybe you'll take your arms up and over the head. Maybe you'll keep them to the side. We're just going to let the hips open for a moment. So typically we put the blocks under our knees. I'm asking you to put them higher. So right at the base of the leg, right at the top. How's your spine? How's your breathing? I've been using the example of like when you're doing laundry and you just keep the clothes in the washing machine. You don't let it spin. You just let it sit there and soak. After a while, it starts to get mildewy. It's really heavy to lift if it doesn't spin out. And so our yoga practice helps us wring it out, helps us release all that lethargy and toxicity and negativity and worry and fear and all of that moving through our energy, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So even though we haven't really turned off of our backs yet, we're really moving energy. So let's do it one more time here. This time we're going to press the feet really firmly together. We're still in Supta Baddha Konasana. We still have the blocks underneath our legs and we have our knees open. Push really firmly into the soles of the feet. And as you're pressing the soles of the feet together, spread your knees apart.
Very, very dynamic. Those of you who want to can take your hands underneath your head, glue the hands towards each other as you're spreading those elbows apart. So the same thing in the arms and the legs. Feet are pressing, hands are pressing together, interlaced. Knees are pressing apart, spreading apart, elbows are spreading apart. Some of you might even lift up the head and shoulders and turn this on 5 big breaths. How are you doing more than one thing? You're pulling it all together and you're spreading it all apart and you're feeling that gorgeous spine getting longer and longer and longer, freer and freer and freer. 3 more breaths. 2 more big breaths. 1 more big breath. So good. And head on the floor, close your knees, please. Get those blocks out of your way. And we're going to take our time rolling over to either side, and find your hands and knees. If you're ready, take yourself right up to downward dog. And let the body just release. Imagine you have a lid on the top of your head, like an opening of a jar. Open the crown of your head towards the floor and let anything that doesn't serve you just pour out. Long, long breaths. You got another 5 breaths here in downward dog. How long can that spine be? Good. The next exhale, come on down. Bring your knees down and let's recreate it here on this side. So pointing your toes back if that feels okay. If it doesn't, you can always put a towel under there. Taking your knees a little bit wider than hip distance. We're going to try to bring those heels to the sits bones, and we're going to try to move the knees towards the head and forward folding into your child's pose is when you have a curve in your back like a turtle shell. Sometimes people like to take their hands towards the mat, and that's not wrong, but just notice that you're putting a back bend in the upper body versus the child's pose that's classic, where you're taking the hands down by the ankles, which is what I'm preferring right now, is that you take those hands down by the ankles so you can feel that turtle shell. You can tuck the chin to the throat and really breathe out. 1 more breath. And beautiful. Come on back up to hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Back up to downward dog. See if you can get a little bit more release here. You can bend the knees if you need to. Straighten them out. Whatever you need. We're going to do child's pose again. Bring those knees down. They call child's pose the pause button. Okay. Heels are as close to the sits bones as you can make them. You're trying to energetically move the knees to the front of the mat. Start to walk your torso down, hugging right between those knees, taking your forehead to a smile if you want, and bringing your hand. Breathe here. So child's pose is known as the pause button. The idea is that as a child, all your troubles roll off your back. Let all your troubles roll off the back. Let it be a nice turtle shell here for you. 3 more deep breaths. And back up. Last round, downward dog. The longest spine you can make it. Again, opening the jar to the crown of your head, letting anything that doesn't serve you pour out. 2 more deep breaths. And when you're ready, bringing your knees down, let's take our legs forward here. This time we're going to take the blanket nearby, but we're not going to use it quite yet. We're going to just do a little bit of a twisting action. Take yourself down to the floor. Feel the melting of the spine, the melting of the muscles of the back. Arms in a T position or up and over the head. And we're just going to go back to this windshield wipering action. Just side to side. Maybe even taking the hands to the heart. See if you can bring your attention to the spine. As the knees go to the left, do you feel the right ribs pulling to the right? As the knees go to the right, do you feel the ribs pulling to the left? So feeling this gentle twist. On Wednesday and Friday, we're going to be building this awareness. You don't have to come to all the classes. You know, you're not missing anything if you don't. I mean, you're missing a ton of fun, but I do like to build the idea. So what we're doing right now, we'll play with a little bit more in the Hatha class on Wednesday and then the flow on Friday. Just really building this inner awareness, this inner gaze. It's like better than a TV show. How your body moves and the little details. You could binge on body watching. 3 more deep breaths. How's everybody doing out there? 2 more. I miss your faces. 1 more. All right, now we're going to land it. So take the knees over to the left, hold them there, and then reach the arms out, really stretch it out. How does it feel under this right leg? Does it feel okay? Does it feel too much on that hip? See if you can lift that right leg and then drop it. And then lift. We still have the knees bent. We're just lifting it just a tiny bit, just to check in. 3. And 2. And 1. Good. Come on back to center. Make it all back to normal, to neutral. And now we're going to drop the knees to the right, to the opposite side, and just open and close that other knee. Just check it out, see how it's doing. Extend the arms up and over your head and just stretch out. Try to imagine that you're putting space between every single bone, even the bones in your hands, the bones in your feet. Just imagine you're putting all this space in your skeletal system. 2 more deep breaths. And come on back to center. All the way back. If you want to stay here, stay here. If you want to go back to a happy baby pose, do that. Just take your time to settle in, because now we've made it to our final relaxation pose. Is there anything else that you know you'd like to do before you close up today? Is there another posture, another twist? Do you want to do a bridge where you're lifting your hips up and you're lowering and you're coming up and lowering? Take another minute here to settle in, closing up the practice as you need to, honoring your body and what you need. Take your time finishing it up. And when you're ready,
whenever that is, start to make your way to the most important pose, which is that final relaxation, our most important one. And you get to rest here. You get to really spread out like that butter in a skillet. Let yourself spread out. A lot of awareness today. Let the body feel what you've just done. Let it be received. Let it be processed. So coming to stillness now, start to relax the jaw and the muscles around the eyes and scalp. And we're going to do our relaxation breath. We'll do these together. Take a big exhale for the count of 8. Here we go. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in for 4 through the nose. Hold your breath and relax. Keep relaxing. 5, 6, 7, then exhale. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, but really relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Open your mouth. Exhale. So heavy you couldn't get lifted with the crane, right? Inhale through the nose for 4. Last one, hold your breath, but really melt on the mat, holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and open your mouth. Exhale. Let it go now, normal, natural breaths. I'll watch the time. Just allow yourself to take these last couple of minutes. Just watch the inhale come in and watch the exhale go out. Steady in and enjoy. Gently. Gently. Stay where you are or gently coming back. Stay where you are. If you want to take a longer Shavasana, feel free. Those of you who want to close up together, make your way over very gently to the side. Take your time. And we'll come to sit up in an easy and comfortable cross-legged position, sitting up nice and tall. Take your time. There's no rush. Start to sit up, or if you're on your back, just allow yourself to continue to spread out. Hands in prayer or hands on your heart. Just check and see how this landed on you. How are you feeling? Have you had any shifts? See if you can grow your crown of head away from the tailbone, getting as long through the spine as you can. And as always, may we sit in the spirit of gratitude. Not just when things are easy, not just when things are going our way, but also when things are really hard, really challenging or confusing or humbling. Can we be grateful for these scratchier lessons too? They show us who we are. And who are you? Who are you right now? Thank you so much for coming and being with us today. As always, may it be of benefit to you. Deep, deep bows. Namaste. All right. See you guys later. And I'm going to close up. Anybody who wants to stay in chat, stay in chat. Everyone else, have a wonderful day.